Today's video, I just wanted to do a sit down about my postpartum journey and what that looks like for me. I'm seven months postpartum. I have 2 under 2, so I didn't even get through my first postpartum phase with my middle child, let alone this time around. But I wanted to talk about 3 different things that I've been learning so far with 3 children. The first thing is patience. I want to talk about patience. I wanted to talk about emotional regulation and also self-care. So I wrote some notes because with mama brain, and sorry about the TV in the background, 1 second. Can you turn the TV down? Or could someone come shut this door? That's being patient, right? But anyways, I wrote some notes because with my mom brain, I can probably pause in the middle of a sentence and forget where I was going, totally get off track and start thinking about, oh, I gotta go cook, and oh, I gotta go tend to the babies. So the first thing I want to talk about, you can shut it, babe. Yeah. So the first thing I want to go over is patience and motherhood and what that looks like and how I manage my patience and what my patients look like. And first I want to throw out there that every day I think everyone exhibits some type of example of being patient, right? At work, you have to be patient with your coworkers. I'm a nurse, so I have to have patience for my patients that I'm taking care of, right? Because everyone's not the same. We don't all think the same. We don't all navigate the same at all. So you have to show a great deal of patience throughout your daily life, right? But here, so in motherhood, I feel as though you can be patient with anger or in anger. You could be patient in frustration, and you could be patient in love.
I truly believe that in the midst of being patient in any situation, you can also show other emotions such as frustration and anger. So you can tend to someone's needs or hear them out, but you can still show that you're angry and frustrated. So in motherhood, I feel like you have to conceal those type of negative emotions and literally be in that moment and meet your child right where they are.
What is patience? So here I got written down that patience is the ability to calmly wait while you remain understanding in any given situation. So you have to be able to be calm, be present with whatever you're waiting on, whatever situation, whether it's good or bad. You have to remain calm. What is the opposite of patience? Some of you guys would say the opposite of patience is impatient. No, technically in the Bible, the opposite of patience is anger. Because if you're not patient, you're upset, you're angry, you're throwing out these negative emotions, right? In 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 through 8, it also says love is patient, right? Love is kind, it does not envy, but let's focus on that. Love is patient, verse 4. Love is patient. So whenever you're being patient, you're being loving. God was loving. He was patient. He was slow to anger. He was very slow to anger. So it's just very important that you practice patience and how you deliver being patient to your children.
I remember telling my oldest son when he was younger, patience is virtue, possess it if you can, always found in woman, but never in a man. And now that I'm older and wiser, I'm like, oh, that quote was not appropriate to be using, because patience should show up in women and men, because he'll be a father someday and he's going to have patience for his children, for his wife, let alone his children. So it's just very important to show patience and love to your kids so that later on they can do the same for theirs.
Okay, I'm sorry. As you see, I had to have patience as I'm doing this video, and I had to come and nurse my little one who was having a little fit. But anyway, so we was at the joke of emotional regulation, And I was saying, how can you be regulated while going through all these hormonal changes? Like, equilibrium is like off balance as new moms, or even just like moms that been moms forever. Kids kind of throw you out of whack. So you're going through all these emotions and someone's telling you to regulate yourself? You gotta be kidding me. That's like impossible. But it's healthy and you need to. So there was a quote that I came across and it says, when we're dysregulated, when we're unable to manage ourselves, and we begin to feel out of control. So when you are dysregulated, things are out of control. Goes back to, how are you even going to be able to have patience that your child needs? How can you act out of love if you're not regulated? So some things that I wrote down here is, what is emotional regulation? So I guess it's a state of being at peace and having a peace of mind. It's a state of harmony to be regulated. And we don't get that all the time, you know, as moms. But how do I know when I'm dysregulated, you know, and I'm not emotionally regulated? So I wrote down here, being aware of triggers that cause dysregulation. How does those triggers show up? And how do you act on those things? How do you recenter yourself? How do you cope with when you're feeling dysregulated? I'll give you an example. Let's say, okay, my Silas, he was crying just now while I'm trying to do this video. That kind of made me go out of whack and I wasn't regulated. I paused the video and I addressed the issue. Not with yelling, just simply, come, lay on me. Let me nurse you. Let me nurse you back to a state of peacefulness. Let me nurture you back to knowing that I'm here for you, I hear you, and I'm going to tend to your needs at this moment. And now that he's calm, I'm calm. However, if I would have addressed that situation of him crying, being frustrated, and wearing my emotions on my sleeves, then I would still be dysregulated and it would make the situation even worse because now we're both upset. And being upset and anger, that's makes you feel real tense inside. It's a bad feeling. My head starts hurting and I'm just like, blah, you know? So yes, understanding those triggers, like let's say housework. That's one place. Like my poor husband, I'll give you an example. He loves to touch on me when I'm doing housework, I'm cleaning, even if it's a simple kiss on the forehead, on the neck, you know, rub my back. And sometimes I don't receive it. Sometimes I push him away and I'm overstimulated. Like, just leave me alone. If you don't touch me, I can get this done quicker. But then when I sit down and I can self-reflect, and when I do actually take it in and I turn to him and I receive it and I accept what the love that he's giving me through those moments of being dysregulated with cleaning and chores around the house, and he's wanting to hug me and kiss on me, when I allow him to do that, I feel at ease. It kind of helps me recenter. It helps me feel good. And it helps me approach what I was doing more calmly and more happy. But in the moment of like washing dishes and trying to, you know, finagle the mess that's around the house, I'm like, no, just leave me alone. You know, I'm so caught up in my emotions, so tensified. I'm like, just leave me alone, get away from me. I don't want nothing to do with you. But I have to take time to regulate myself, understand that this is a trigger one for me. And how do I positively react to this trigger? Accept him in. Let him love on you in that moment. It takes a brief second because every time you do allow him, it helps you refocus. It helps you recenter and feel better in the moment of chaos. Give self-compassion. Receiving your husband's love when you're overstimulated and, you know, you're overwhelmed with things. Giving yourself self-compassion, like, I will get this done. I may not get it done in a timely manner, but it'll get done. That's having self-compassion. Having your husband love on you, that's self-compassion. Not beating yourself up, because this world is hard on moms. They expect us to be nurturing at all times. They expect us to be smiling at all times. They expect us to be full, like, superwoman mom, smile, it's all good, and, you know, a picket white fence. That's not, no. Because your children sees the raw and real you. And sometimes you have to live in that moment. Like, this is it. This is what I am feeling. And it's okay to feel this way. But how can I feel this way in a healthy way? Not so much of a negative way. Also here, like, cognitive regulation. So with cognitive regulation, I put down that it kind of, you go through a mind shift. Oops, someone's calling. So you have like mind shifts. Like I told you earlier in the video, I had to write these notes down because I can just go off the wall and just have like a blank, just go blank, you know, because of, I'm probably thinking about as I'm doing this video, I'm thinking about, ooh, what do I have to get done once this video is done? What do I have to tend to next? Do I have to cook dinner? What is the living room looking like? So being able to be in the moment and not worry about what's next. There's a Bible verse, and I don't know it off the top of my head. I will actually put it down there. Don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has troubles of its own. And I wish in motherhood, I kind of have to remind myself that all the time, because I just get so dysregulated when I'm thinking about the next thing. We're always thinking about, what do we have to get done next? You know, what is my next mommy duty? You know, and it can cause burnout, and it causes you to be overstimulated all the time. Emotional regulation. I have how to cope, how to rebalance yourself, how to recenter yourself when you're feeling these emotions. And it's important not to ignore your emotions when you're feeling overstimulated. Allow yourself, it's okay that I'm feeling this way. It's normal that I'm feeling this way. And how do I let this out? How do I get rid of this feeling? And like a lot of things with not being able to approach these things in a healthy way comes from probably trauma. Let's say, like growing up, I got yelled at. Sometimes when my parents was frustrated, instead of in a moment that I needed them to be calm, mom was probably overstimulated and she yelled at me. I do that with my children. It's taught behaviors, but you need to learn how to take those emotions that you're feeling. That goes with being patient and love. Understand that this is a frustrating moment. However, if I act in a frustrating way, it's just going to make it even worse. It's going to heighten the frustration level in the room. It's going to heighten the anger. You know, it's going to be a hiatus of just negative emotions. So yeah, knowing how to respond to it in a healthy way. So yeah, emotional regulation is very important. And knowing how to identify when you're dysregulated and how to get you back to your regulations, and just understanding the triggers that throws you into this dysregulation. And then that leads me to self-care, the third. Self-care. How do I practice self-care? For me, self-care looks like I've just started, for the past couple weeks, I've been working out. And after I work out, I feel like this burst of energy that I haven't had all day. I feel proud of myself. I have self-compassion. I feel like, wow, I did something for me, for myself as a mom, you know. I know this is going to make me feel good and look good. Self-care, such as I don't have them done now, but I go get my eyebrows done. I love to get my eyebrows done. I did it all the time. But now, as you know, having my teenager, having 2 under 2, I don't have time to do the cosmetics that I used to do. So making time to go, little things, get my eyebrows done, get my hair done, you know, when I take a shower, not being disturbed. My husband, I had to talk to him because a lot of times when I'm showering, he'll come in the shower room with the kids crying. And that's his way of telling me, hey, I need help, hurry up. But I had to sit back and tell him, like, honey, when you go shower, I let you enjoy your shower. Please have the same compassion for me. I need to enjoy my shower. I don't need no crying kids in the shower with me. This is my time to have my peace of mind, for me to self-reflect, and this is self-care for me. And I could get out the shower, I can oil and lotion my body in peace. So then when I'm leaving out the shower room, I can resurface and I can have a happy approach to everyone in the household. I could be calm, I could be loving, I could be nurturing. And so much so that when I walk in a room, they could feel it. I don't even have to act on it, because all that angst just left, because I just had that moment to myself to unwind, to recope. So what else with self-care? Self-care, it'll prevent you from being burnt out. Yes, you can get burnt out with being a mother. And anyone who says, one thing I don't like is for moms to say, I think you're lying. When moms are lying when they're like, oh my God, I want to spend every last minute with my child. Like, I don't need a break from my kids, this, that, and the third. Yes, every mother needs a break, whether that is a 5-minute break in the bathroom to take a dump, 10 minutes in the shower. You need to kind of detach yourself from your children. It is healthy. I'm not saying, oh, like, go send them off for a weekend or a week and things like that. No, I'm not saying that. You know, I'm not saying neglect your kids, but you can get burnt out in parenting because that's all your life is wrapped around. And that's a beautiful thing, to have your life wrapped around your children. That's how it's supposed to. That's how God has given us as women. That's what he created us for, to be nurturing and be present and in the moment with our children. But I also believe that we need time away from our children so that we can self-reflect and we can kind of get our emotions back to par, you know? So you can get burnt out with parenting, and it's ideal, but it's very important to understand, why are you being burnt out? You can be burnt out because, hey, you didn't want to wash the dishes the night before, so now you're waking up in the morning to a sink full of dishes, on top of trying to get them with feeding them breakfast, and they're probably crying because they need your attention in every which way, every avenue, you know? So you could get burnt out from that. So I say that to avoid burnout with your self-care is prioritize being busy in a qualitative way. So I'm busy, let's put it, a negative busy is, I'm washing the dishes in the morning because I didn't do them at night. Sweeping the floor because I didn't want to do it last night. I was too kind of burnt out, maybe even lazy-minded. I didn't do it the night before. So versus a positive way of being busy is, I am busy because I'm washing these dishes after they cleaned, or I'm stacking them neatly, and the rest of the house is clean. Why? Because I did it before I went to bed last night. I picked up throughout the day. You know, I dusted the house 2 times out of the week, 2 to 3 times out of the week, so I don't have to play catch up every day. You know, so to prevent burnout, it's also being mature when it comes down to your time, to prioritizing your time in the right way. And what else do I have here? Eating habits. That's self-care. You know, you don't want to sit here. I know me and my husband we're currently on a diet. He's on a carnivore diet. I decided to get rid of sugars in my diet and just low carbs. I was eating a bunch of sugar. My body was craving a lot of sugar. I'm breastfeeding 2 babies. But although I'm craving it, it doesn't mean that it's good for me. So I had to get rid of that because I was feeling fatigued and just sluggish throughout the day. And I'm like, why do I feel this way? I understand I'm breastfeeding, but this is a different type of fatigue. And it's because of what I'm consuming. What I'm consuming is consuming me. It's consuming my energy. So diet, make sure that you're eating fruits, drinking water, staying hydrated. You have to take care of yourself in order to take care of your little ones. And that's very important to know, like, where does your self-care lie as a mother? Where are you with that? Ow, ouch. Honey, you bit me. It's okay. So yeah, but those are the 3 things that I wanted to talk about. Patience in motherhood, emotional regulation, and self-care. And I hope you stay tuned for the next table talk of motherhood. Thank you. Bye.